Hi, I'm Kevin from agardenforthehouse.com. Today we're going to make a fabulicious pumpkin soufflé. Pumpkin soufflé is a dramatic dessert to bring to the table. It's naturally gluten-free too, if that's important to you. Okay, first things first, heat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. And then grab a baking dish. This is a 6-cup ceramic dish with fairly high sides. I think it's called a soufflé dish. You can find this in any housewares or kitchen supply store. You can even buy one from Amazon if you like. And what we're going to do is brush the inside of the dish with melted butter, because every soufflé begins with butter. We want to get all the way up the sides. And then grab about 2 tablespoons regular granulated sugar. Throw that in, and then swirl the dish to coat both the bottom and the sides. And the sugar is going to give the soufflé a really nice crust on the sides. And then I'm going to knock out the excess sugar over here. And now we're ready to make the pumpkin base. So the pumpkin base begins with a 15-ounce can of pure pak pumpkin puree. And this is the Libby's brand. And I still remember the commercial from the 1970s that went something like this. If it says Libby's, Libby's, Libby's on the label, 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 you will like it, like it, like it on your table, table, table. I hope you like when I sing. Anyway, the pumpkin goes into a medium mixing bowl. I'm going to get all of that out of there. And then to the pumpkin, let me fix the camera so you can see the spices I'm adding. Here's the bowl. Zoom! Should go up like this. That should work. Okay, to the pumpkin, we are adding 1 tablespoon, or rather 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We are also going to add a ½ teaspoon of ground ginger and a ¼ teaspoon of ground cloves. I really love the scent of cloves. Then we're going to mix this all together. And I forgot one little ingredient, and that is a ½ teaspoon of salt. I'm using kosher salt. Mix, mix, mix. And our pumpkin base is complete, so we can set this aside for a moment. A soufflé gets its rise from beaten egg whites. As the whites expand in the hot oven, they push the soufflé up to the heavens. Just make sure your egg whites are at room temperature. Cold whites won't mount to their fullest potential. So what I have here are 5 room temperature egg whites, or rather the egg whites from 5 room temperature eggs, and I'm throwing them into the bowl of my standing mixer. If you don't have a standing mixer, just use a large bowl and handheld electric beaters. And then we're going to beat these at medium speed just until they begin to foam. Okay, they are turning foamy, so at this point we're going to add a ½ teaspoon of cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is an acid and it stabilizes the whites so they don't deflate too quickly. We're also going to add a half teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of regular old cornstarch. In you go, bang, bang. And then we're going to boost the speed to high and beat the whites until they form soft peaks. I'll come back to show you the soft peaks in just a moment. Okay, let's have a look. And now we slip off our wire whip attachment and we check for soft peaks. And here's what we have. Do you see how the peak is drooping? That's called a soft peak. So what we're going to do is put this back on, and then we're going to turn the machine up to high and then gradually add 1 cup of granulated sugar. If you have caster sugar, use 1 1/3 cups of that. Caster sugar is a wonderful thing because it dissolves instantly. And we're going to gradually add this sugar. Just bit by bit. We're also going to make a cloud of sugar. And this may seem like a lot of sugar to you, but honestly, the soufflé is not all that sweet. And we're going to let this go until we reach stiff peaks. Okay, let's have a look. I think we're there. We should be, because this has been beating for about 5 minutes. And yep, we've got stiff peaks. So knock this off. Tap, tap, tap. Boy, I could eat all of these sweetened egg whites all on their own. And now let me grab, well, I guess I can use this spatula. What we're going to do is lighten the pumpkin mixture. So we're going to take a nice big blob of the egg whites, drop it into the pumpkin, and then we're going to fold that in, not too gently. We just want to lighten the pumpkin, make it kind of airy. We're good. And then we are going to, let's see, I'll take this bowl off, move my mixer aside. Then we're going to add the pumpkin mixture directly to the remaining egg whites. Oh, I wish you were here. I wish you could smell this. The ginger and the cloves and the cinnamon. Heavenly, heavenly aromatics. Then we're going to fold the pumpkin into the whites. And when you fold, you just plunk your spatula straight down into the whites and then scoop, turn the spatula to scoop up whatever is on the bottom of the bowl and bring it up to the top. And you want to do this fairly gently and deflate the egg whites as little as possible, although they will deflate a bit. And this looks good. Then I have my prepared soufflé dish on a baking sheet. And we're going to pour the works into the soufflé dish. Oh, this looks great. This is one of my favorite desserts to serve at autumn and winter dinner parties. I like it much, much better than pumpkin pie. I'm like so over pumpkin pie. I'm going to smooth out the top just a little bit. Okay. All right. This goes into the oven on the center rack until the souffle puffs and browns. That will take 50 to 55 minutes. We'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I forgot to tell you, the moment you put the souffle in the oven, turn the temperature down to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And here's our souffle, all puffed and brown and beautiful. Let me see if I can transfer this to a silver platter, because heaven knows a souffle deserves to go on a silver platter. And this is what I do when I'm serving a souffle at a dinner party. I take a large fork and knife held back to back like this, and then you flick away at the top. And by the way, this crust is actually beautiful meringue because the egg whites rose to the top and cooked just like a meringue. And let's put a nice helping on a plate. Oh, I think I want a little more than that. Oh, this is foamy, wonderful. This is light as a feather. No matter how much you eat for dinner, you will always have room for pumpkin souffle. A little taste. Oh, it's as wonderful as it always is. Hang on, I'll move the camera up so I can talk with you. Oh, how I wish you were here to taste this with me. I wish you lived next door. So this is infinitely better than a pumpkin pie. I hope you'll give it a try someday. Also, I hope you'll give this recipe a thumbs up. I hope you'll subscribe and share the recipe with your friends. And I will see you very soon with another delicious recipe. Bye for now.